Welcome to Haes Technologies Technical Support videos. In this video, we'll be looking at loop device connections and the learn function for the Esprit addressable range of panels. Loop wiring information. Each detection loop should consist of a 2-core fireproof cable wired from the loop card in the panel and run round the building to each addressable device in the protected area and returning back to the panel as shown in the diagram opposite. The loop out cable from the panel should wire into the loop in connections on the first device, and the loop out connections of that device will then wire into the loop in connections of the next device, etc., all the way around the loop. And on the last device, the loop out connections go all the way back to the panel into the loop in connections on the loop card. The loop can consist of detectors, call points, sounders, beacons, and input-output modules. Apollo protocol panels can have a total of 126 devices per loop. This can consist of XP95 or Discovery, or you can set it to use 240 devices per loop if you use the Soteria range of products. The Argus protocol panels can have a total of 240 devices per loop. Each device on the loop should be given a unique address number. No loop should contain two of the same address numbers. All loops start at address number 1. Any device can have any address within the acceptable range. Gaps in the address sequence can be left if required. The addresses will be set either via a row of address switches or via some programming device. Each loop cable, a 2-core fireproof, will be connected to the relevant loop card inside the panel, as per the diagram opposite. The loop out or outgoing loop cable will be connected to the loop A pos and neg terminals and will run around the building and return back into the loop B pos and neg terminals on the same loop card. The loop cable screen should be connected to the panel at both ends. It's important that the cable screen be continuous all the way around the loop. This will stop interference from external noises. Here we can see examples of connections to Apollo loop devices. In the first picture shows 3 Apollo loop bases, and if looking on the left hand side, that would be the cable from the panel out into the first detector base, then from the out terminals of that detector base into the in terminals of the next detector base, again out in, and then the out from the last detector base will then either go back to the panel or to the next device. If the next device is a main switching input output unit, again it will feed into the loop in terminals, you can see at the bottom right hand corner, and then out of the loop terminals out to the next device or back to the panel, depending on how many devices you have on the system. On this screen we can see an addressable call point. Again, the loop terminals from the last device or from the panel would go into the loop inputs on the connector of the call point. Then out of the loop terminals again to the next device, and the next device there shown is showing a XP95 sounder. Again, your loop-in terminals will go into the loop-in terminals, or the loop-in cable I should say go to loop-in terminals, then out of the loop-out connections to the next device or back to the panel, depending if you have any more devices fitted. Here is an example of the Argus Vega connections, very similar. Again, you'd have your cables going into the loop-in pos and neg of the detector bases, and then loop out pos and neg over to the next device, whether that be a smoke detector, a call point, or a module. And you'll follow this procedure from the cable into the device, out, over to the end of the next one, out to the end of the next one, and then back to the panel, maintaining your loop. Using the learn function. After connecting the loop devices and the loop cables into the loop card in the panel, the panel will start to announce the presence of the devices automatically, so without any menus being selected, just by powering up the panel and having the loop cables in. the panel will automatically start detecting the devices. These are not learn, it's just showing you the information that it's found devices on the loop. Just you can use this as a pre-commissioning or for general information. Eventually, after a short time, all the devices will be listed and they will be shown on the front of the panel as device loop O1, device O3, and it will say not learn, and you'll get a list of these devices showing you what the panel can see on the loop. Just bear in mind at this point these devices are not learned. The panel has just shown you that there are devices present that need to be learned. The next step is to learn the installed devices onto the panel. This is achieved by using the learn function. So the first step is to press the enter button, which is the middle tick button on the cursor keys, and enter the level 2 code as requested. Your level 2 code being 1111. Use the arrows and the up and down arrows to set the 1111 code, and then push enter or the tick button. This will take you to the main menu. From here, select the config option. Again, when prompted, enter the code 3333 using the cursor up and down, left and right buttons, then push enter. From the config menu, select the panel icon, and within the panel menu, then select the learn icon. As soon as you select the learn icon, the panel will now check the internal cards to check to see if the panel is correct. It does this before going on to learn the devices. This will be checked each time you use a learn function. It's just a process the panel does. Next, the panel will learn the devices on each loop card, and you'll see this on the display as learning devices. When the panel has finished the learn process, it will display the results as shown opposite. First, it will confirm the number of loop cards it has detected. You need to push the accept button to continue. Next, the panel will display the number of addressable devices it has found, shown per loop, as per one loop per line. In the example opposite, the panel has found 3 devices on loop 1 and 3 devices on loop 2. Again, press the accept button to continue. The panel will then display any network panels or repeaters that are connected to the system. Again, this is information only. Again, you push the accept button to continue. The learn processes are now complete and the panel has returned back to the config menu. Any devices found by the panel during the learn are now fully functional and active. Device names and zones can be programmed from the front of the panel or via the configuration software available from our website. Bear in mind, as you add new devices, you will rerun the learn process and the panel will show you any new devices found. And again, these will be added into the memory and become fully functional. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please visit our website at haes-tech.com.